Yo, what is good, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is the first video on the channel. I'm kind of just gonna be telling a story time just to like start the channel off, give me something, just something to start the channel off with. I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you do, drop a sub, leave a like, make sure to leave a comment on any feedback on the video that you have. I'll try to respond to as many comments as I can. Yeah, let's get straight into it. So I just want to start the channel off with like something light. So, this story isn't, too crazy, but in the time it was scary as fuck to me when it happened. So the story I'm gonna be telling today is about the first time I got caught with a vape, bro. And so I want to start off by saying this: don't vape. Vaping is really fucking bad. Don't consume nicotine in any form, because all the forms that they have available to consume it is really not good for you. So we're just going to start off with that. Don't partake in anything that I, do in these stories. These are all just for entertainment purposes. So now that we got that out of the way, we can get into this story. So this story takes place in sixth grade. I was 12 years old, and I wasn't the best kid. That's really the only way you can put it. I was not a very good kid. I acted up a lot, and I mean it wasn't completely my fault. I didn't have the best home life either. Um, but we've moved past that. And so back in sixth grade, when I was 12 years old, I was, vaping a lot. I thought it was cool to vape, because my friends were doing it. I thought it was cool to do it, just like everybody else. I thought it was cool. It's not cool. Let me tell you, bro. Addiction is not fucking cool. All right. Nicotine is not cool. But, I I did it anyways, I regret it. And so, as any nicotine addicted teenager is going to do, I bought a vape. And so, to be specific, I'll try and find a picture and like put it up on screen if I remember. If not, don't hold me to it. Don't hold me against it, I mean. But so the type of vape I had, it was a fume vape. It was like a fume extra or something. It was mango flavored. I remember that very specifically because this is like kind of traumatizing, to be honest with you. I mean, not necessarily traumatizing, but at the moment it felt like it was. That shit was just terrifying, like dead ass, bro. I was so fucking scared. And so the way that I acquired this vape was I had this friend. We're gonna call this friend Craig. I'm friends with Craig to this day. He knows my mom. We're all good now. But back then, my mom did not like Craig. She tolerated Craig because he was my friend. He was friends with my some of my other siblings too, with my older brother. You know, and so she tolerated him. But she did not like him. And so Craig, he hit me up one day. He's like, yo, I got this vape. You want it? I don't like it. You can just have it. Because, I was looking to get a vape because, I'm a nicotine addicted 12-year-old. And so I hit him back and I'm like, yeah, bet. And he's like, bet, pull up to my house. And so Craig, he lived in the same neighborhood. He still lives same house. I live right next door to the house that I lived in at that time. So we still live very close together. And at that time, we still lived very close together. And so I'm like, I bet, bro. What time? He's like, dude, whenever the fuck. My mom don't care. And I'm like, bet. And so I did. I pulled up to Craig's house. But, and so I pull up and walk in. And I'm like, yo, what's up, man? He's like, what's up? And I'm like, can I get that vape, bro? I'm kind of fiending. He's like, yeah, I got you. And so he gave it to me. And so I take the vape, I hit it, and I'm like, yeah, I see what you mean by you don't like it, but I'm nicotine addicted. And the thing about Craig and his mom is, I'm going to go out and say this. I love Craig's mom, okay? Craig's mom is like a second mom to me, okay? I love her to death. She is a great woman, but she didn't have the best parenting strategy. She didn't stop her kids from doing certain things like she should have, like vaping and smoking and shit like that. Now, that doesn't make her a bad parent. She just, that just bad judgment. She's a great woman, love her. Shouts out to you. Um, but yeah, and so she would just buy him vapes. So that's why he was able to just give me this vape because it tastes like shit. My mom, she cared a lot. All right, you'll figure out later in this story how much she fucking cared. All right, and so I'm just hitting this vape, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't like it. I just had my mom go get me a new one. You can just keep that one." I'm like, "Dude, thank you so much, bro." And he's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "So you want to hang out? Maybe like smoke some weed or something?" And I'm like, "Yeah, fuck it, why not?" And so I did. We hung out. We went in his room, got out this fucking shitty ass homemade pipe that he had. Honestly, I don't know if it was homemade or not. It looked homemade. Probably was homemade, knowing Craig. And so we go into Craig's room, and my bad. I got fucking cotton mouth like a bitch. I ain't got no water near me. We're gonna thug it out. And so we go in Craig's room. We're smoking and shit. And he's like, "Yo, you want to just stay the night? Maybe pitch in a little money to get some weed." And I'm like, "Yeah, fuck it. Why not?" And so I hit up my mom, and she's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever, go for it." And I'm like, "I bet." And so the night really isn't that interesting. I hit the vape, we smoked weed, we hung out, listened to music. That was the night. Um and so the night goes by fine, but then the next day um is really unimportant to the story. Nothing that day happened until towards the end of the day when the vape I had died. So in this type of vape, if I, remember to put the picture up on screen, back, previously, um, fuck, this type of vape, cannot be charged. Well, can I won't say that. It can be, but it does not have a spot where you just plug in a charger. You gotta do some jerry rig shit, bro. You gotta do some crack wiring, all right? That's literally the term. There's other terms for it, but I'm not gonna get into that because that's not important to the video. And so I'm like, fuck. And so I start looking for a cord. I find the type of cord I need. I go into the bathroom with all the things I need: a cord, a block, and a pair of needle nose pliers. Any type of pliers will work, or really anything to just strip wires. Okay, and so after you get all of your, what should we call this, tools, to dismantle your vape and prepare your jerry rigged, aka crack wire charger. Okay, and so what you do is you take the body of the vape apart from the battery and the coil and the cotton and everything. And you got to do so very gently, because if you do it wrong, you will rip one of the wires and then your vape is fucked. You got to throw it out. Real quick, while I'm thinking about this, another thing we used to do when we would break one of those, we would keep it, right? And then when we would get a vape that we could refill, like a pod vape or some shit, we would squeeze the juice out of the cotton from the disposable vapes into the fucking refillable pods, dude. We was on some fiend ass shit. Don't do that, bro. Like, I just don't do that. Okay. So anyways, back to after you pull it apart and you get it all, apart, you start splitting your charger, right? So you take just a USB-C or like a regular Android charger, and you just cut the charger part off. The part that you would plug into a phone or something, cut that shit off. Just snip it. You don't need that no more. And then you start by unwrap the wiring to split it into the two wires. There'll be a red wire and a black wire. You're only worried about those two. If there's any other wires, ignore them. Okay, you only want the red and the black. And so you want to strip the red and the black wires. And so if you don't know what stripping wires is, I'll put a picture up on screen. If I remember, once again, if I remember. And it's where you just pull off the silicone or whatever protective cover on the outside to expose the raw wiring on the inside. And so then once you do that to both the black and the red wires in your vape setup, you will have your red and your black side. It'll it'll show you that. And then you touch the red to red, black to black, and you just hold it like that for however long you want. And that's how you charge it up. And so that's exactly what I was doing, right? I went into the bathroom, I was doing that with all that shit, and I'm just sitting there charging it. And I did that a few times, right? I did that night, I did it once the next morning, when I first got up, and then I got dressed, and then I went into the bathroom right before school so I could charge it up again, so I could hit it at the bus stop once or twice. And so when I did that, my mom came and started knocking on the bathroom door. And so I'm in the middle of all this shit, and I'm like, fuck. And so I don't think to be like, okay, I should, put all this shit in my pocket, because I left the door unlocked too. And so I'm just sitting there doing this, and she knocks again, and I'm like, yeah, and she doesn't say anything. And then she knocks again, and I'm like, yeah. And then she swings the door open. And so the way the bathroom was set up was the sink where the plug was literally right up against the door. And so when she did that, I like slammed up against the door trying to keep it closed while I shoved everything in my pocket. But she somehow saw that through the door. I still, to this day, got no fucking clue how she knew I was shoving shit in my pocket. But she did, okay? She got that fucking mom sense, all right? Real quick, don't try and lie to your mother. They just fucking know, dude, all right? They know, all right? Whether they say it or not, whether they tell you they know or not, they know, all right? And so, anyways, back to it. And so she saw. And so she's like, what's in your pocket? And I'm like, nothing. And she's like, what's in your pocket? And I'm like, nothing. She's like, what is in your fucking pocket? And so I gave her the block, the charger, and the needle nose pliers. And she's like, what were you doing? And I'm like, I don't know, trying to, I don't know, I like just some bullshit. And I probably said like, I don't know, trying to fix it or some shit, right? Just some stupid shit. And she's like, bullshit, what's in your pocket? And I'm like, nothing. And she's like, you want me to take it out, or you want to take it out? And I'm like, I'll take it out. And so I pull out this dismantled vape, and she's like, oh my fucking God. And she acts like I just pulled out a fucking pound of fentanyl. And I'm just like, she's like, oh my God, where did you get that? Oh my, I'm calling the fucking cops. And I'm like, what? No, please don't. She's like, no, I'm calling the fucking cops. Where did you get this? I'm like, I found it on the side of the street, I swear. I found it on the side of the street. She's like, no, where did you fucking get this? I'm like, I found it on the side of the street. And so she's like, I don't fucking believe you. And she's like, go sit the fuck down at the table. And so I went and I sat down at the dining room table, and I'm just sitting there, and this pure terror is really the only way I can find to accurately describe the way I was feeling. This was genuinely the most scared I had ever felt in my entire life. I'll probably say that again in other videos, but that I was terrified. Like at that moment, I felt like I would just die, dude. The anxiety, the fear, the fucking like, oh my God, is she gonna call the cops? Am I going to jail? Looking back at it now, it was just a vape. I would not have gone to jail for that. They would have just been like, oh, who gave it to you? And I would have been like, I found it on the side of the road. And they would have been like, that's pretty believable. And they would have let it go. But 12-year-old me, I didn't know that. I was freaking the fuck out. And so I'm just sitting there on the porch. And so what I didn't expect her to do was call Craig, because you see, Craig was a little bit older than me. And so she called Craig because she knew that he would be able to talk to me and maybe get information out of me, because like he's my friend and shit. And so he came up to me and he's like, yo, and she was inside, right? She called him and it was like, yo, come to my house right now. I need you to talk to AJ. Like, I found him with a vape. I need you to figure out where he got it. And he's like, all right, I'll be there in a minute. And so he shows up, right? And so he comes up to me. She's inside the house doing whatever the fuck, right? She's bagging up. She's putting the vape and all the shit that I had into a Ziploc baggie. And so Craig comes up to me. He's like, yo, I know I sold you the vape, bro. I'm not gonna tell her that, bro. What is the story? Like, what do I tell her? And I'm like, bro, tell her I found it on the side of the road. That's what I've been saying. Like, I mean, figure something out. Like, tell her I found it on the side of the road, figure out how to make that believable. He's like, all right, I got you. And so Craig, he goes inside and he like does some shit, probably like asks to like look at the vape, and he's like, well, I mean, in the state that it's in, I mean, like, he probably did find it on the side of the road and was like trying to fix it or some shit, and bullshitted his way out of it, and actually somehow convinced my mom to come out there and be like, go to the fucking bus stop, because I was supposed to be at the bus stop at that time. Somehow I didn't miss the bus. And she's like, go to the fucking bus stop right now. And so I'm like, okay. And so I grabbed my shit and I went to the bus stop, and I went to school. And when I tell you that was probably the worst day of school I have ever fucking had, I mean it. That day was terrible. I had anxiety all day that I was going to get home and that there was just going to be cops, or that cops were just going to show up for me at the school. And I was like, oh my God, I'm fucked, I'm fucked, I'm fucked, I'm fucked, I'm fucked. Just all day. I was so fucking scared. And, I get through the day and I get home, and my mom, she's there, and she's like, if I ever, she said it just like that, catch you with a fucking vape in my house again while you are under the age of 18, I will beat your fucking ass and then call the cops. Do you understand me? And I'm like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And she's like, good. You're fucking grounded. Everything for a very long time. And I'm like, yes, ma'am. And she's like, good. Go. And go just meant like, get the fuck away from me. I want to beat your ass, And so I did. I listened. I took my ass. I went into the room and I started crying. I started bawling my fucking eyes out, because now I'm vapeless. Now I'm grounded. Everything. She meant everything. I wasn't allowed to go hang out with friends. I wasn't allowed to play video games, play with toys. I was dead ass made to sit on my fucking bed and do nothing for like a month and a half straight. That shit sucked. Yeah, so there 1000% is a moral to this story. Multiple morals to this story. First of all, don't vape. We're just going to start there. Especially if you're under the age of 21, which is where it is, which is what it's at in America currently. Especially if you're underage. If you are of age, I still personally, because, I know what it's like to struggle with nicotine addiction and what it's like, trying to, I currently struggle with it. I'll be honest. I'm working on it, man. I'm trying. That shit's fucking hard. All right. It's a pain in the ass. It's fucking expensive. It's useless. It doesn't fucking benefit you anything in your life besides fucking 5 seconds of, ooh, that tastes good. Ooh, a little buzz. And then you'll never fucking get that buzz again in your life. Like, it's bullshit. All right, don't vape. Don't lie to your parents. Behave. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Not as like high quality as I wanted it to be. I mean, it's my first one though. I'll be honest. I'm high as fuck right now. But yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I do plan to make more videos like this. If you did enjoy, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, comment, and yeah, I will see you all in the next one. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace.